this morning.
Yeah, Steve, congrats. Like
almost
$42 million closed this week. How does that feel?
That feels good. I love the fact that you guys are a part of it. We've partnered with some amazing people across the country to close the biggest deal by almost 4 times than our last previous deal. So it's
that didn't take one call or one Zoom call or like a week of underwriting to do. Like this was a weeks and months of preparation and lots and lots of back end work to get this deal done. But let's backtrack before you go to that deal. Ultimately, your background, you were a real estate agent, very successful with that, real estate flipping, wholesaling, successful there, ended up moving into storage units. And I don't recall where those units were, but you did eventually move into out-of-state markets. How did you, what was the reason for doing that? And how did you make that leap of faith from not having the local control and the local assets and being able to do it from a virtual standpoint?
Yeah. So, I mean, the dichotomy was we were doing residential in state when we were in New Jersey. We flipped and wholesaled maybe 1,000 houses over 10 years. So it was a very different operation. When we switched to the commercial and we started building, we built 3 ground up self-storage facilities in Orlando, and they were all managed by CubeSmart. We partnered with an experienced operator, right? So we helped raise the capital into that deal and partnered with a guy who already had $200 million under management. He was boots on the ground, following what Don says. I mean, I'm sure you're going to hear the repetition over and over and over again. Partnerships and mentorships and, people on the ground are kind of what helps streamline this process. But so our partner, Sean, lived in the Orlando area. He was very much managing the general contractors on the ground up construction and managing the COs and the township and all that stuff.
So yeah, people in relationships has been a theme. And it reminds me, I've said it before, Grant Cardone, he said hey, you don't have a money problem, you got a people problem. Like you find the right people, that'll solve a lot of other problems. How are you finding these folks, whether it's that partner for the self-storage units or the one of the big partners that's involved in the Lake Forest project that you just closed?
Yeah, it's it's not magic. It's going out and finding people that are doing the things that you want to do and building relationships with them.
Wait, right? So there's work to it. It's not like a Facebook post.
It's not a Facebook post. It's a lot of, just phone calls. So look, everything in business, as we find out, is that it's about creating your tribe, having people that know, like, and trust you, and align with your own core values, right? When you can start there, then it's very easy to implement these other things, right? Business transactions become second nature once you have the personal transaction that's taking place, right? The personal relationships. So it's finding your tribe. And believe me, there's plenty of people out there that are doing this business that I don't want to partner with, right? And there's plenty of people in the business that I do. So it's going out, kicking tires, starting relationships, finding out what drives other people. And then not just what they say, but what they do.
Watching what they do.
The name of our company puts us a little bit in the crosshairs, right? Because the name of our company is Integrity Holdings Group. And people think initially 11 years ago, maybe we started the name of that business so that other people thought that we had integrity. And that's not the reason for it, by the way. We named our company that based on Proverbs. We're Christians, and we know that we have to answer to God at some point. And it was a reminder for us on our business card every time we handed it out that one day we'll stand in the judgment seat and we better know who we work for. But that doesn't not put us in the crosshairs, right? So we are held to a higher standard because of our name, and we have to say what we're going to do and then actually follow through with action. And same thing with your partners. When you start to find these partners, you can start to see how people act, and they will tell you that their core values are one thing, but do they finish them out in an accountable fashion where you can see it tangibly working in their business, right? And then that's how you start to build those relationships. And that's the trust piece of know, like, and trust, right? I can know someone, I can like them, they can tell me all the right things. But if they don't follow through, right, with what they say they're going to do on the business side, then it's not going to be a fruitful partnership, right? And like it or not, you're probably going to go through one or two of those. But as you start to mitigate those relationships and find the people that you know, like, and trust, and find the people that align with your core values, then you can start to do deal flow with them, and you can see the people that are bringing deals and things like that. So it becomes easier to do things far away when your partners that you know, like, and trust are there, and you can trust them that they're going to do exactly what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, and that's something like I'm a high D, like very more of a visionary, just go, go, go. But when it comes to partnerships, whether that's a JV or actually going in on a deal together as a general partner or a limited partner or whatever, I've been more cautious. Just because, like, I know the name I have, and especially if I'm going to involve anyone in my sphere, like, so you actually have the word integrity in your name. I don't, but either way, I still have to adhere to that. And
of
I'm
course.
very, very guarded. So I've approached it in a way of, hey, I am going to develop a relationship, and we can take us for an example. Just watch. Like I remember a conversation you had as you were kind of moving out of single family, moving into storage units. Like, okay, well, let's watch. Let's see the extra acquisitions. Let's maybe see some exits. Let's see how they do propositions and how they handle multiple conversations and how they develop relationships over time.
Prove it.
Then, all right.
Yeah.
Let's do some business together.
Right. Absolutely.
But that's what everyone else is doing. Not everyone, but probably the most valuable partners you'll ever have. That's what they are doing.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, there's certainly a lot of people out there that say, hey, come partner with me, right? And a lot of guys starting partnerships and relationships and JVs and things like that. Maybe too early, right? I just heard Don say he's cautious, right? Your approach is more cautious. And it should be, because what you have is your name and your reputation, right? You only get one of those. It's also a marriage. And you're married for 5 years.
You are getting married for a defined amount of time. And that can be fun and enjoyable or not.
Yeah. And it's why I like the multifamily space, separate from the single family space, is you're married, but it's still separated, right? Like, your entity owns a piece of the deal. My entity owns a piece of the deal. And in the operating agreement is how we're allowed to interact. So I like the fact that it really lays out the ground rules up front. When in the single family space, we used to bring in some investors, they would partner with us and we'd share profits, but then sharing profits meant maybe we had multiple opinions on granite fixtures or whatever, right? Yeah. And that's what I like about the multifamily space too, is it gives the opportunity for the people that want to be passive, and the people that want to be active to be active.
Mm-hmm. Maybe 30 seconds. Any tips on, if folks are especially starting out, they don't have that network, how they can go out and start meeting, and maybe some spots, whether it's a Bigger Pockets forum, or whether they need to host a podcast or go into a mastermind or networking groups.
All of it, right? So if you figure out kind of what your niche is, I mean, this is the problem with, I think we are shotgun blasters, right, as entrepreneurs. So we want to go try a little bit of everything. And maybe you should in the beginning. I mean, frankly, we did wholesaling, we did flipping. Now we own apartment complexes. We built ground up construction. So we've done all kinds of stuff. Find out what you really like, find out what you're really good at, and then go find those people, right? I mean, we found our first mastermind, which is where we met, via a podcast. And then I reached out to the guy who ran the podcast, and he said, oh, hey, we have a mastermind. Why don't you join it? And we did. And then we created relationships. Don't be an entrepreneurial island. Go find your tribe. Go find the people that are doing what you're doing, whether that's in Facebook groups or podcasts or masterminds. Listen to a bunch of people that are doing what you want to do. Reach out to them and say, where should I go to learn more about this, right? And try to get in the room with some of those people. Now that conferences are starting to come back in a post-COVID world, like, you can start to get around some of the people and learn what they're doing and how they went there. I mean, it's interesting because as entrepreneurs, we have the opportunity to get around people that are further down the road than us, and then potentially eclipse them because we get to learn all the things from them and then run right past them, right? I mean, most of the people that I've learned from did like 1 or 2 deals in their first year or two, and we've done 9 deals, and we're bordering on $200 million in acquisitions in 36 months, just because we took all that information, packaged it up, shoved it into our business, and then ran down the street really, really fast. So it's really just to get around the right people.
Love it. Love it.